10 o'clock. Call the Harrison County Commission to order. Please stand. I'll need to give the invocation.
Gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you, Lord, thanking you for this day, thanking you for all the blessings that you bestowed upon our beloved county. Lord, be with us in peace as we do the will of the people in this particular courtroom. We ask that you just continue to forgive us when we fail thee. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Has anybody signed up for public comment?
No, Commissioner.
Anybody on Zoom for public comment? Anybody on Zoom for public comment? Close the public comment section. Consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Payroll change notices.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve payroll change notices. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Minutes from previous meetings.
Motion to approve, Commissioner.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Motion to approve requisitions.
Motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Exonerations.
Where's Susan? Susan's not there, and Patsy's on the Zoom, and Dave Hinkle's the only one in the commission.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, Dave was going to be there, so they didn't want to be.
Unbelievable.
Beverly, you are not muted.
I wasn't muted.
Thank you, Johnny.
Okay, sorry for that outburst, but that's not the reason they're not here. It's because I'm here. So as long as everybody understands that, we're not on those terms. So Patsy, we're back to exonerations. I think we have some exonerations. Laura,
Yes, sir. Motion to approve, Commissioner.
Both exonerations and corrective tickets.
Okay. For A and B, corrective tickets and exonerations. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion's carried. Number 7, consideration approval for project fund requisition for payment of costs associated with the project finance proceeds from the Series 2019 bonds issued from Charles Point.
Motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 8, consideration approval project fund request for payment of costs associated with General Service Administration buildings. We have an A and B request.
Motion to approve A and B, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
Let's see. Go ahead before we get into, well, let's go ahead and back up and we'll do Steve Rawlings with West Virginia Court.
Good morning, Commissioners. Saw the administrator name tag. I really wasn't quite sure what the scoop on that was. Good morning, Commissioner. I appreciate your time today. Appreciate the commission taking a few minutes to talk about the program. Today, I'm here on behalf of the West Virginia Communities Risk Pool. My name is Steve Rawlings. I'm the Director of Operations. Today, I have with me Mike Rizak, who is one of our risk control consultants. And he's worked with us and with Harrison County Commission for multiple years now. Today, I'm here just to go over the program, give you a little bit of background on the program itself, kind of an update about where things are, and then let you ask any questions if you have any questions about the pool itself. And then I realized at the last commission meeting that the commission had considered looking at a potential RFP for other coverages. But what I want to do is get into the program itself, just kind of very briefly let you know kind of where we are and kind of where it started and kind of where we're going as well. For the record, the West Virginia Communities Risk Pool was founded in 2007 with 19 county commissions. Harrison County was one of the founding members of the Communities Risk Pool. It was founded on the purpose of letting, at the time, it was counties and county-related authorities have the opportunity to take control over your own coverages, your own services, rather than receiving your coverages either through the commercial industry or with Board of Risk and Insurance Management. This was just a third option. There were counties that had an interest in doing so, and that was our purpose, is to come out and have the opportunity for those entities that wanted to band together to create the program. In 2007, with those 19 county commissions, we have grown today to serve 50 to 55 county commissions. We also serve over 115 authorities. And as of March of 2020, we started working with and reaching out to municipalities. And then today we have about 25 or 26 municipalities. I say about because we're continuing to add members. The most recent members we've added, or the most recent member we added, was the city of Charleston. So the city of Charleston is a member of the Virginia Communities Risk Pool. Interestingly enough, just over here next to you, that's in Harrison County, the city of Bridgeport was one of the first municipalities to join the risk pool from a municipality perspective. So we're very proud to have seen the program grow. And through that time period, we've had the opportunity to increase services, increase coverages. And really the program is designed around the ownership aspect. So this program is owned by the members. So this program is not a commercial entity. This is actually owned by Harrison County Commission. This is your pool. This is owned by the other 49 county commissions that are participating in it. It's owned by the other 115 authorities and by the other 25 municipalities. It's your pool. The money that you contribute to the program that pays for losses, pays for services, pays for risk control, pays for reinsurance, those funds are actually your funds that we use, and funds that are not used by the end of the year are what are actuarially reviewed, and anything that's left over that is not going into case reserves, that's not going to what's called IBNR or incurred but not reported, it becomes what's called member equity. That's your money. That member equity would be profit to a commercial entity. That money would be profit to the Board of Risk and Insurance Management. Nothing wrong with that. That's just where that would be. Whereas this program, this is your money. Today, the pool has in excess of $10 million in money that is free and clear over and above the excess funds that we have for the case reserves and the IBNR. So that money is actuarially defined as free and clear. That's money that is yours, that belongs to you. As you all know, last year, we gave back $300,000 in a rate credit to all of our members. This year, we're also giving money back to our members in a rate credit as well. So one of the things that we can do with those funds is give those monies back because, again, it belongs to you. We can also use those funds for a variety of other options, which would include increasing reinsurance retention, using money for a rainy day fund, have the opportunity to increase coverages, which we've done over the multiple years, because the pool coverages today don't really reflect what they were in the beginning of 2007. We've expanded significantly with the coverages that we have. But enough about that. Really, to go back to the operation of the program itself is that not only does this belong to Harrison County Commission and the entities that participate, but you also oversee it because those who are elected to oversee the program come from the membership. So the membership is that who is participating in the program are elected to sit on the board. We have 7 elected members that sit on the pool board, and those are the individuals that make decisions about what happens to the coverages, the services, the rates, and things of that sort. So I think it's very important to note that not only is it something that you are in with your peers, but your peers are the ones who are overseeing and making those decisions. This program is endorsed by the County Commissioners Association of West Virginia, the West Virginia Association of Counties, as well as the West Virginia Municipal League. Those three entities, not only do they endorse the program, but they also get their coverages, their property and liability, as well as their workers' compensation from the pool also. So this program is something that it's incorporated in the state of West Virginia, and it is designed to be focused around your needs and the needs of your entities. It's all we do. We only do public entities. We don't do any private entities. We don't do homeowners. So the program that we have is designed around exactly your needs. A couple of items just to mention I think are important, and I did bring a packet that I'll leave with Ms. Peace here on this here as far as a couple of items. And I won't go over these word by any means. Commissioner, with your permission. Promise I will not go over this word by any means. In fact, I won't even go through each sheet, but there are some information elements on there that I think are valuable. One of the items that when you go through there, following this meeting, you'll notice that we do identify the fact that we have cyber risk coverage. And I use that as an example because I talk about how the pool is forward thinking, where we're going, what we're doing. Cyber risk is one of those coverages that is kind of a hidden coverage. Most people don't know that you either need it or even in certain cases that you have it, even if you don't need it. And this is one of the things that the pool is forward thinking on and has always been forward thinking on, because back in 2013, we witnessed other public entities not in this state have exposure for cyber risk. And we realized that we did not want our members to have that exposure, even though at the time there were many members that didn't necessarily need that exposure coverage. We realized that it was something that was coming and we did not want to have our members having exposure. So what we did was in 2013, we created the cyber risk program and the plan and automatically threw that in within the coverages. And then for the first several years, we didn't have any cyber risk claims. It just didn't happen because we were forward thinking enough that we got in front of it. And then over time, things have changed. We've had a few cyber risk claims. We've had a few things come in, but that's one of the things that we do. We provide a breach coach. We provide forensic services. We provide internal services to get your coverages back up. So we provide a lot of things with no sublimits, and we continuously evolve our cyber coverage. And that's really kind of a microcosm of what we do, not just with cyber, but also with all of our coverages, whether it's a liability coverage, whether it's a property coverage. I think those are the things that are very important to note, that we are always looking ahead and trying to add coverages where we see those potential risks and those potential exposures. I could go all day. You don't have all day. I certainly won't do that. I won't do that to you. A couple of items I think are very important to note is that property, crime coverage, and automobile coverages are the same as what they were in 2007. I don't know that there's any entity that can say that you're paying the same rate that you would be paying from 2007 on those items. We've not changed those rates since that time. As we've added coverages within the liability, that has stayed also relatively flat. There's been some changes in here, but it's also to reflect those coverage changes that have come into play. And then workers' compensation, this will be at least the third year in a row, maybe the fourth year in a row, that we've reduced rates for our workers' compensation. So we're continuing to look for what our members need. We're continuing to look at the coverage elements, and then the service aspect. The final point that I'd like to bring as far as from the coverage aspect is that, or from the pool program, is that we do have a very robust risk control program that can provide training. Mike, who is here, provides a lot of on-site training. In fact, most of the training we do, with the exception of the last couple of years, has been on-site and will continue to be on-site. So we come to you. There's no cost associated with that training. And we come out, and within some of the other training that we do, such as law enforcement, we can provide up to 14 hours of CE credits that will allow you to have your deputies trained. Your deputies are required to have 16 hours every other year. For CE credits, we can come in and do those for you and provide up to 14 hours for those elements. And we're continuing again to evolve what we have. We have 501 authorized OSHA trainers. We have former law enforcement officers that provide these trainings. And those are the elements that we do. I mean, the pool is ultimately designed around what the needs are of our members. I realize I have a short amount of time here, so I don't want to take up a lot more of the commission's time. But the last thing I'd like to mention is that with the fact that the Harrison County Commission is a founding member of the program, we would certainly like to work with any questions or concerns you might have for the fact that you all are considering potentially looking out for other options. We would certainly like to entertain answering any questions you might have or concerns you might have from a service or a coverage or elements that are out there. Because again, this program relies upon stability, and the stability of cost comes from the stability of its membership. And we've had a really great working relationship with Harrison County Commission, founding member of the program, and we would be excited to continue that working relationship where possible. So with that said, I'd like to open it up for any questions that you might have. If you have any questions or concerns, and I do appreciate your time you've given me today.
Our policies up June 30th.
Yes, sir. The program runs on a fiscal year basis, which is July 1st through July 1st. So it would end at midnight on June 30th, correct?
And if we decide to change companies in August or September.
The way the program works is that you have committed to the program for that particular fiscal year. So you'll be responsible for the contribution for that fiscal year. So once you start that year, you're required to remain within the program for that particular year. And then if you choose to leave the program, you can choose to leave the program, but it would be on that at the end of the 6/30 of that ending fiscal year. We would ask that you provide a 90-day notice as in accordance with the member agreement that you all have signed. In advance of leaving on a 7/1 date.
We supplied you the information you need to give us for the coming year.
I know that we have submitted the information to the commission for us to receive the information back. I have not received confirmation. We have received the renewal information as of this date. That doesn't mean it has not arrived, but that would be something I would check with my folks as far as on that specific question. Commissioner, I would have to find out.
Determine whether we're going up, down, or staying the same.
Yes, sir. That would actually be, because in that renewal packet, what we would be asking for would be updates of schedules for property, equipment, vehicles. We would also be getting updates on your workers' compensation exposure, and then we would apply any of the new coverages and the new rates, especially within the workers' compensation element, to a renewal program, and then we would provide that proposal to you. We would ask that if you are going to receive other proposals, that the commission establish a time period for all proposals to be due at one time, so we could provide that. So it would be on a fair and an equal setting on that front. And we would be happy to do that if that is the pleasure of the commission. We would certainly hope that the commission would like to maintain its membership within the program, but we'll work within the bounds of what the commission would like to see.
Patsy, do you have any questions?
No, sir, Commissioner.
Rawlings, thank you.
Commissioner, thank you very much for your time. I certainly appreciate it.
Patsy, we're going to go to the 10:15 public nuisance. Michael Lyons, Michelle Gunn.
Okay.
Stay here. Do you want to give us the
You want the
Commissioner, this is Michelle Gunn.
Good morning.
tell us why we're here?
We've been with Lyons here before, not for this particular property, but for another one, which they did get cleaned finally. But this is another one. And it needs badly cleaned. And one of the buildings, it was okay, but now somebody's went through and busted all the windows out, and it needs boarded up and secured so people don't keep climbing in. Okay, see, I thought I was gonna have to tear it down, and I was gonna say I've been looking for people to tear it down, and it's a lot of money to. Yeah, I realize that. But all I have to do is board it up. I will talk to the code enforcement officer, but last I checked, I'm thinking that they just wanted you to board it up. Okay. Because as you can see, it's not it's not
See,
safe.
we've had it boarded up. I've even nailed the door shut.
Yeah. I know eventually you will have to tear
Yes.
it down.
Yeah, well, that's what we're planning on doing.
Okay,
It's just taking it down altogether.
okay.
Start about the picture, it shows the other.
The trailer with the trash?
Yeah.
I was gonna say that house should be the only thing that's on it. Because we've had everything else.
I think they did clean up the trailer. and
Yeah,
the
we've
trash.
had every.
This is all gone.
No, the trash, we're still getting it taken care of. That's a different property.
So
We've had that all done except for the removal of a portion of the trash.
So Charlotte, we're here about
That,
securing that.
yes.
Okay. Patsy, you have any input you want to give on it?
No, only that I've seen the pictures too, David, and they do seem to be making some sort of an effort. Ms. Gov, let me ask you something. If Commissioner Hinkle and I would ask you to make more progress within the next 60 days, would that be significant enough to clean up the property as well as then come back to us with a plan for demo in the property that needs to be demolished?
Yes.
I'm comfortable with that. That gives you a summer months of May and June. That's outside season. So if you could clean it up and make it better, I'm comfortable with waiting on you to come back in 60 days and tell us the demolition program, a demolition update.
Okay, thank you.
So we'll take that as a motion, Patsy.
David, please, let me reword it. Motion to allow 60 more days for cleanup as well as to come back with a proposal for a date for demolition, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So we'll see you back in 60 days. Hopefully,
Yes.
but at least get it secured for us.
Okay, yes, I will do that.
We appreciate that.
Okay.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
And please keep working on that other one.
Okay, yeah, we are. The gentleman we had to do it, I don't know what happened there. He just quit showing up. So,
Okay.
but yes, I am working on that too. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Right. Number 9, review, discuss, and consider resolution authorizing submission of a proposal to Congress McKinley's office. Is there anybody here from the commission to speak on that? If not, it's a community funded project grant. It's for $947,000, 20% match. So this is just
Motion.
authorizing.
I'm sorry.
Authorizing the resolution to approve going after the grant.
To apply for it, yes,
To
sir.
apply for it.
Motion to approve as stated by Commissioner Hinkle.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item 10. Review and discuss and consider rail trail crossing permit from Dominion Energy.
Commissioner Hinkle?
That is along Mount Pear Road, and it's just a little bit past the Sunset Memorial. It's an 8-inch line, and they are wanting to cross under it. They said that the minimum that they would go under would be 3 feet. I do have the agreement that they want us to sign. I would like Trey to check it out. I think it needs to be done myself, because it's allowing them to go in and just dig up the trail. And
Motion to approve as stated by Ms. Schaefer.
So we're going to, let me see if I understand what we're going to do is the motion is to give the legal to evaluate and bring back to the next meeting for approval.
Yes.
Is that all right, Patsy?
Yes, sir.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 11. Consider retention of legal counsel to address Antero's tax appeal. Do you have any information for us to look at? Here.
I kind of misled Laura. I didn't realize I had reached out to Sean Whelan from the Attorney General's office, who takes care of other things for the tax commissioner and for myself. I wasn't aware that he could not represent the county commission at the time. He did say that the commission in the past used John Nichols and Terry Rogers, and they do work well together on these cases. So I think Trey had recommended Terry Rogers, correct?
That's correct. I've worked with Mr. Rogers and John Nichols to monitor this litigation. It's a series of litigation and related cases going back a number of years.
Right.
And the challenges have gone to the Supreme Court. They've been back down. They do an excellent job. They're on top of it. And I would strongly recommend that we maintain the consistency. And you just K. Casto and Cheney is the law firm, Terry Rogers and John Nichols.
Yeah. And
Motion to approve the recommendation of the county assessor as well as the county administrator. Thank you both.
Do we know anything about cost or the agreement?
They've had a long-standing hourly relationship with the county in terms of their specific rates. I can supplement with that information. I do not have them today, nor do I have their last statement, because the cases, a number of them have kind of been idle for some period of time. Would be how I would describe it.
Patsy, would you be willing to amend for us to engage a letter of engagement and approve that at the next meeting so we know exactly what we're getting involved with them?
Absolutely. Let me reword. Motion to approve as stated by Commissioner Hinkle, pending recommendation from staff as stated. Next meeting. Yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Number 12, funding request for the town of Lumberport.
Motion to approve the town of Lumberport's request for $10,000 for their new piece of equipment to be taken out of the Community Improvement Fund, which currently has $397,000 in it.
Okay, well, I think the gentleman wants to talk to us.
Well, if you will approve it, I'll find.
You don't have to talk.
But he doesn't have to talk if that's.
No, if he wants to, I thought we both knew, David. It's what the piece of equipment was that he wanted.
Yeah, they're here, and I just was going to give him the opportunity if he wanted to speak.
If he wants to talk, he can talk. If not, he can walk out with $10,000 upon your approval.
Let's walk out. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
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 You can't get any better than that.
You looking for a job?
Good job.
Motion
budget revision for prosecuting attorney's office.
Motion to approve as requested by the prosecuting attorney's office, Kim Martin.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 10:30 nuisance, Sharon Bork.
doubt she's out there.
Sharon Bork. Sharon Bork. Oh. Sharon Bork.
Motion to send this to Circuit Court be the absence of Mrs. Bork to represent herself and her property.
She's an elderly lady and that could not get here. She has a walker and she's the executor of this estate, and there are so many heirs. And all of them have decided to finally sign it off to one of them, except for one. He only owns a sixth of it. I think that once the other ones sign off and let the great grandson have it, he wants to tear it down and build a house on it.
All right, motion to amend my motion to remain to send it to Circuit Court within after 60 days, have the agreement not gone through with the family partnership.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Item 14, review, discuss, and consider formal insurance requests for proposal for county insurance.
Motion to move forward with the submission and the recommendation of risk pools today that we distinguish a particular date and time. David, I'll defer to you. Do you want 30 days? Do you want 45 days? Whatever you say.
Well, I've got some questions. Why is Indiana in this?
Well, it's a mash of like 5 different RFPs. Commissioner Hinkle, there's probably a typo in it.
Okay, well, I was just trying to understand why we were. I mean, I'm sorry, Illinois.
One of them was from Illinois.
Required limits. I noticed that we don't have things like more cyber listed.
I can address that. So the approach was to take the county's existing insurance proposal and to make it an exhibit to the issuance of the request for proposal. That way all the potential vendors can see and all the coverages will be clearly delineated as part of the process for everybody.
Patsy, we're gonna agree to disagree here. I don't have an issue going out. I think it's a little late. I'm comfortable getting us back and getting us making sure that we're good for next year. And my recommendation would be that we go out and spend the time if we're going to do this for the following fiscal year. I think by the time it goes out and we try to get all this stuff that's listed here, that it's talking about finding a broker, they're going to go out and find all these people to come back, and we're going to interview them.
I agree with you. I agree. And that's why I'm saying you pick a date. If nobody can get the information to us within 30, 45 days, whatever you say, then so be it.
I would just feel more comfortable if we took the time to To me, I'm feeling rushed with trying to make this decision. So my motion would be to postpone this and look at it the next fiscal year.
I'm good with looking again next year as well. It's free market. I want free market to have the opportunity to have the opportunity to represent us and whatever direction it goes. If we set a timeline and nobody's able to meet it, that's on them. That's not on us, but it allows them locally in Harrison County and all over the country to do better for us with what we have right now. I'm not rooting against risk pool. I'm simply saying if we can do better, we can do better. If we can't, we can't.
So my motion would be to postpone till after July, and for us to sit down and go over all this and exactly see what we want to accomplish with going out for insurance. We budgeted it for this year. Risk pool needs to get started. We need to supply them the information so that we can know that we're insured after July 1st. So, all in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Oh. Now, please bring my motion up, David, and feel free to go ahead and you pick the date, 30 days, 45 days, I don't care. At the same time, I understand I don't know how you'll be voting, but it's okay however you do, but I still would like the motion to be on the floor that within the next X amount of days, as our free market people have the opportunity to put in a proposal to us.
I guess, Patsy, my concern is they could put the proposal in the next 45 days and we can evaluate it, but at the same time, we have to look at securing insurance for the county for the next fiscal year.
I'm tracking you.
And we haven't given them a 90-day notice, and
we don't have to do that till July. We don't have to do that till 7/1, as he stated.
No, that's not true. That's the issue, is that we've kicked this can too far down to do that without making a commitment come July 1. If we haven't made a commitment with them, then we're going to find ourselves committed to them. As I understand it, I'll let them speak to that.
Commissioner, thank you very much. Just a real quick address on that. The 90-day provision within the member agreement, you can leave within that 90 days, but the member agreement requires notification to us 90 days in advance of the July 1st date. Otherwise, if the commission leaves after that date, so in other words, like let's say, so as of the last commission meeting was when this was first identified that you all were potentially going out for an RFP. And then so today, if you all decide that you are going to go out for an RFP, that's inside a 90-day window from July 1st. So we're closer to July 1st in 90 days. So if the Harrison County Commission does decide to leave the program effective July 1st, you will leave the program and you will not be what's considered to be in good standing of the program. And any equity that the commission owns would be forfeit to the pool itself. So you can leave, but what it would do is that it would create a scenario by which you would no longer have access to the equity that you built up since 2007 under the member agreement.
Patsy, state your motion again.
Just state the motion that in the MOU, people be able to bring the individual companies be able to send in their proposal within X amount of days. And again, you decide 30, 35, 40, I don't care. And if they can't get it in within that time we decide right now, then that's on them. That's not on us, but we allowed them the opportunity.
I just want to understand, if we give you the 90 days now, and we give you the 90 days in July,
the 90-day provision would be prior to the beginning of the next fiscal year. So July 1st, 2022 is when the next fiscal year starts. So if you were in a scenario by which you started with the fiscal year, which goes to your question initially when I was up at speaking with you initially, is that when you join the program, we the requirement would be is that once you initiate that fiscal year, you'd be in that for that fiscal year for the July 1st, 2022 until July 1st, 2023. And then the 90-day window, if you wanted to give us notice that you were going to go out to bid for the July 1st, 2023, you want to give us that notice on July 2nd, 2022, then that obviously would be the the 90-day scenario. But we would ask again underneath the terms of the member agreement that we receive a 90-day notification on that.
Maybe I'm missing something, but I'm trying to understand how we're doing this. And to make sure that once July 1st happens, if we haven't picked someone, we have them for the next year. Is that right?
If we renew you for July 1st, 2022, then you will be with us for the remainder for that fiscal year, for the 2022-2023 fiscal year. That's correct.
And how soon do we have to renew it with you? We haven't given you the information for renewal.
Correct. I'm not aware that we received the renewal information at this point in time. We would like it to have it as soon as possible. We can turn that around relatively quickly. But ultimately, this is something that we like to have in advance, which is why we send out the renewal information in January for the purpose of the opportunity to get that back so you all can have an expectation. That's one of the things that the pool does is that we provide the renewal information early so you can plan your budgets around that scenario. Wherein with most, the Board of Risk and most commercial providers, they provide that within 30 days of the end of the term, and you've already set your budget. You may or may not increase, may not, have some changes that come into play, which is one of the benefits of the program. We come in and we we started early enough that you can plan your budget around whatever cost might be impacted on that scenario. So in this particular case, if you all decide to renew July 1st, which obviously is something that we would like to do, we would certainly like to maintain a relationship, then we would work with you for the 22-23 fiscal year. If you decided to leave, it would have to be before July 1st. Or you would have to make the decision before then, and then it would have to be effective July 1st with a different carrier.
Patsy, go ahead and we'll call your motion to go out.
How much time you want to give, David?
Patsy, I'm fine with looking at it, but I don't like putting ourselves up against the wall on this insurance. I mean, we need to find out from these guys what our costs are going to be. We're looking at last year's costs. We're going out for bid. We don't have any idea what their cost is for us this year, so I don't know how we compare apples to apples. And until they come back in and we go through it all, I think our coverage is complicated. And I think we should have started this 2 months ago.
Okay. Listen, then just to get the motion on the floor, I'll say 35 days, and you call the question. Then let's just vote, and then we can move on.
Okay.
Okay.
All the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? No. Okay, Mike.
First of all, good morning, everyone. Mike Jenkins with the Harrison County Economic Development Authority. First, I want to thank my board for their participation over the last few months. A lot of it's been through Zoom calls and different things. I got a great board of volunteers throughout the community that work with us really well. We don't have a lot to really work on, considering that we have the corporation that receives the money to run the economic development. We're all volunteers, so we volunteer our time to work for the county, and I believe we've done some really good things. To be summoned in within 5 days to come to the meeting here to respond, I would like to start to see if the commissioners would agree to start doing quarterly regular meetings that I come to. I actually have a full-time job that I do besides being the economic development president. So I would like to see if we could start, with your all's blessing, to start scheduling these meetings that I need to be coming to, not to receive a call on Thursday to come give you a report, Commissioner. Starting with that, we have signed a 2-year lease agreement with Catheus Energy with the Harrison County gas power plant. On February the 22nd, we entered into this 2-year extension. And from what we're being told, that the project's still moving. So we're reaching out, trying to bring more jobs to the county. About $600 million is what the projected plant was 2 years ago. And I'm sure the cost is went nowhere but up. I know they have invested quite a bit on engineering and everything else, and they're still planning on going through with this project. That's one thing I was working on. Another thing we worked on was going to the EDA work session, went to attended that. Working on the cleanup project with the city of Stonewood, working with Trey and Laura, we was able to get an agreement on a lot we have over there. The city of Stonewood will be using for 4 days, June the 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th for their city cleanup. We got an MOU signed with them that Trey had wrote up for me. I took it over earlier this week. I can give it to you. We signed off on it. So that way, that lot will be able to be utilized for 4 days to clean up the city of Stonewood for people bringing their trash or whatever needs to be done. I have a map here and the actual votes from the meeting from the rest of the board. We think with the economic development, talking to all the individuals on the board, one thing is cleanup of the county doesn't ever hurt on economic development when people are looking to move into the county for to start businesses and different things. So one of the things we felt this was good, but we want to also be protected with our insurance to make sure if any injuries are happened. That's where Trey had wrote up this great MOU, and I'll give it to Laura and she can distribute it to whoever needs to go to. Here's a copy of our financial budget for the EDA for the previous year. We've actually spent $0 of county revenue, other than we made 90 cents interest on the money we have here as far as our balance sheet. And the reason we spend $0 is because we have $0 coming in and $0 going out, but the 14 people on the board actually are trying to make things happen with very little bit of ability. Considering that this commission expects us to report and tell what we're working on when we are paying a full-time and staff person or paying for the corporation and a part-time person and expecting us to come in and do our due diligence, which we try to, is unfair. That's my opinion. That's just an opinion. Talking to Chris Lang over the Gore building, he was asking for some help on trying to do some things with the Gore building. He was looking for some type of a loan or something. I don't think that's possible. I talked to the legal counsel and said that would not be possible to loan money to an individual to do this. Now, if there's some kind of a lease where we was buying or part of the parking lot, I got back to Chris and Chris said, let me think about it. I'll get back to you. That's where we're at with Chris Lang. Talked with one of our board members, Sam Maximum. He's been working, trying to get somebody interested in a property over on Route 58. He's not been successful yet, but he's definitely trying. Other than that, nothing other than the project up there at the Harvest Medical. Don't know where we're at with it. I don't know if they've hired anybody or not. They've never reported to our board yet. As far as if they've hired, I did take a tour of the place. It was very nice, but looking forward to see how many jobs we're going to be able to get out of that. Maybe you know more than I do on that, David. I don't know, or Commissioner. Other than that, any questions?
the extension on the power plant. Was there anything that bound the commission?
Not according to legal, it was the same extension that we had the last one. It was ran through Trey. I talked to him, he looked over it, and
the commission's approved all extensions in the past, so that's why, because of the money that they had to put down on the extension. So we've always approved all the extensions in the past, and I'm just curious why it wasn't brought before the commission, because it's under both headings, because we have to approve the tax burden.
I don't recall a signature line on the prior extension for the commission as I sit here right now.
There's one more agreement.
Okay. We have separate agreements for separate entities.
Yes.
Why?
Because we gave them a lieu of taxes. Okay. And we now have a new entity that's in the lease. So I should have been taken up before elected officials.
So you're basically saying they're essentially cross-collateralized?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll look at that.
It's the same company.
it is the same company. They bought the other group out, and it's under the same heading and the same name, but not no name changes, David.
Yeah,
Commissioner.
But still, their agreement will look probably died with the commission. Expired.
Yeah, I'll take a look at that. We did make a number of changes to the option agreement to tighten it up so they couldn't extend it indefinitely, which is kind of how the old one was drafted. But I'll take a look at that issue. That's new to me.
Commissioner, actually, the last agreement was signed off by the current, the previous county administrator for the county, for the Economic Development Authority. And we never voted on the last agreement extension. It was signed off by the county. Mr. Parker signed the last agreement.
We've always come before the commission. The commission's always looked at any extensions.
I understand that, but I just didn't make note of that we did not sign off through the economic development on the last one. The last one was signed by the county administrator at the time, not by the board. We never voted. This one here was brought to us because it was in the Economic Development Authority's name. That's why we acted on it, and that's why I sent it to legal. And then we brought it in front of our board and we voted on it through the economic development.
Oh, I'm fine with that.
Okay, I just want to make sure that.
I want to make sure that we haven't done half of it. We haven't covered the other half as far as the commission's concerned, because the commission did sign agreements with the power company.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I would think if there was some taxable benefit to the company, they would have brought that forward at the same time. Because the HCDA does hold title to all that property, which is why the land use agreement
we gave them a fee in lieu of taxes. Okay. And they come and they pay their original for their right to build, and then we've extended that in the commission several times. Before I was a commissioner and after I was a commissioner. Okay. Mr. Black that used to come.
Yeah, but he's no longer involved in it.
He used to come and get the extensions from us.
But the property has never been switched over. It's not been deeded over. We still own it in the EDC.
Yes.
EDA, I'm sorry. Anything else?
That's it.
Thank you. Could you work on that and maybe trying to schedule that quarterly for me? Because it would make it a lot easier for me. Would you do that? Thank you.
I'm not the one that's going to schedule it.
Well, you're the one that asked for me to come here. So I was just wondering if you're going to ask to come here on a Thursday, I need to know more than 5 days notice if possible.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Yes, I missed MOU.
We need to go to number 15.
Okay. Review and discuss, consider enter into an MOU. Intergovernmental agreement with the city of Salem. Somebody here from the city of Salem.
David, all this is doing is formalizing what we have had as a gentleman's handshake with the city of Salem. And it also is helping us to make sure that the state understands that since they own that rail trail, that, you know, that Salem has always maintained that as part of its beautification process within the city limits. And we're just going to get it on paper. Because, you know, Ronnie Davis may not always be there. Mayor that they presently have won't always be there. Quite frankly, we won't always be here. But there is an understanding that as part of their beautification process of keeping the downtown what it is, and the great job that they really do, that they do take care of that. And quite frankly, they don't care if we do anything at all anyway, because they just put up their own stuff, cut their own grass, and move forward.
I'm going to defer to legal. I have never seen a written agreement between us and the state as far as authorizing us to maintain or take over that trail through the city of Salem. The city of Salem needs to enter into agreement, I would think, would have to be with the state of West Virginia.
Yeah, my notes and the potential hiccup is just the consent of the state to the arrangement. Typically, when we look at the rail trail, we always talk about the rail authority and making sure that they affirm and consent to everything. Yeah, happy to follow up on that. I just don't have the answer today. Charlotte and I have worked on those issues before, but happy to do it and try to get it done.
I think we're missing a couple. Without their authority, whether we're taking over that trail or they're going to maintain it, the city of Salem's going to take it over. And when we say maintenance, are they going to be responsible, Patsy, for keeping the asphalt up and all the stuff that's been done, or is that come back to us?
No, David. This is really just the fact that we've got, you know, we have always had a gentleman's handshake. The state has always had a gentleman's handshake that Salem maintains within the city limits. They're part of the rail trail. And then, you know, being that, you know, the state, you know, allowed us to blacktop it, and it really does look nice, and that Salem's just going to continue to mow the grass around it, which regardless, David, without the memorandum of understanding, they're going to continue to do so. But this does give us something on paper should things change down the road with leadership, that there's an understanding that they mow, weed eat, and, you know, if I hate to say it, if somebody throws a bottle on the blacktop, you know, they're still going to clean up the glass. They always have, and I think they always will. But this is just something on paper, and I think all parties know that this is something that we want to do as far as the state, Salem, and us right now. But that's all it is. It's nothing.
Do you have a problem with staff finding out just what responsibilities Salem wants to handle, what responsibilities the state wants us to handle, and then writing up that agreement?
Yeah, I don't. You know, it doesn't matter to me. You know, when we work with the state to blacktop it, they said, you know, we just would like something on paper of who's going to maintain it, and we said, of course, fine. And you know, everybody was just standing together. Yeah, sure. You know, we want something on paper, fine. If not, like I said, you know, this rail trail goes through the heart of Salem, and you know, it would affect everything if it wasn't maintained, the grass. So, I mean, it's their vein, you know.
My motion would be,
I mean, the state's going to still own the property. Salem's still going to maintain it. And what we did is we came in and gave them a walking path that's blacktop, and that's all.
I just want to make sure who's going to maintain the asphalt. That's what I'm worried about.
Well, unless hopefully that's something that's not being worried about for a long time, if with the proper drainage that's been put in, and at the same time, eventually everything that becomes old, and you know, that's something that someday somebody will have to decide. But you know, unless something happens really great to the city of Salem, I doubt they're going to have the resources that we had to do what we did for them. I mean, I hope they don't need us ever. I hope city of Salem hits gold.
My motion would be for staff to check with both the Rail Trail Authority, City of Salem, and work out who's gonna do what and be responsible for what. Because like you said, we're not gonna be here or could not be here 10 years from now. So they can bring that back for the next meeting. I don't think that should be too hard information to gather in a rough agreement so that we all know exactly who's doing what, so that going forward in the future, it's pretty much.
Yeah, let's not overcomplicate something that's taking care of itself.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Administrator's report.
I do not have anything this week.
I don't either, David.
Okay, well, the only thing we can jump if we want is, are you ready, Patsy?
Mm-hmm.
I know you're going to just funding youth baseball for Harrison County.
What did they request, Laura? $1,000?
$1,000.
I'm here, Patsy. This is Patrick Marozzi. First of all, just real quick, I'll keep this brief. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to come in and talk. I'm the president of the Harrison County Pony League. This is my first year. I've been a part of the board for 5-6 years. I think this might be year 6. It's my first year as the president. And just to kind of give you a quick snapshot where we are as a league and where we hope to go and why I'm here today. This past weekend, we held our opening day ceremony where we had roughly almost 400 kids, packed Frank Loria Field with their families, and we had a great day of baseball and food. And some of the things we're trying to do is make some improvements to facilities down there. I'm not sure how many of you have been down to the park in Nutterford and taken a look at baseball facilities down there. Obviously, Frank Loria Field looks great. But some of the things that we're trying to do is better our facilities as a whole. Last February, we raised over $10,000 to replace a batting cage over on Field 3. And then with the funds we raised enough to actually put in another one. So obviously we have been spending some of the money that we've raised, which is what we ultimately want to do. And obviously being here today, I can't speak for our previous president on when the last time the Harrison County Pony League asked the county or the city or anyone else for funding, but I would like to see funding come yearly from the county. We service a lot of kids. Obviously I know how the whole budgeting aspect works and how much money you might be able to give us, but we're going to be happy with whatever we get. And obviously I had a conversation with Patsy a couple of weeks ago, and you seem to be fully on board with trying to get involved in helping the Pony League. So if there's any questions you all might have for me, I'll answer those. And again, I appreciate the opportunity to come in here and talk with you today.
Where does most of your baseball plan happen? At Nutterford?
Yeah, that's our only location.
And how many kids are involved?
Roughly almost 400, over 380, and that includes girls softball as well. Ages range from T-ball, which is age 3 to 5. 6 to 8 is coach pitch, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14.
Patsy, I'd like to make it 2,500. That's all right with you.
You'd like to do what, David? I'm sorry.
Make it 2,500.
Sure. Motion to approve as stated by Commissioner Hinkle, $2,500 to Pony League.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
No, sir. You have the whole agenda.
Motion to adjourn.
Aye.